Shove it, man!
Alright, it's the girl taking, back breaking, never shaking, HAWK, all night, all day, except on Sundays when I make the girls spray. And that's where my happy intro ends, I'm afraid, because today I've got a Patreon request, and Gerald Armstrong needs a punch to the gut. I bet he thought he was being really funny requesting this one. If you also want a punch to the gut, sign up on Patreon today and I'll make you pay. Gerald obviously enjoys me cringing whenever Chavo turns up on my screen. Joke's on you, old Gerald. I only started disliking Chavo later into his career in TNA. And besides, today's video isn't on Chavo Guerrero, it's on Kerwin White. And of course,
if you know a wrestler, how's the rest of it go? To the JLB, to the HAWZ. I got up this morning and went straight back to bed.
Okay, it's Kerwin White, aka Chavo Guerrero if he was light. Now the Hawk has been extra generous today. I'm giving you some extra jabs to the jaw, all for the standard price of a punch to the gut. Because on today's episode of Ring of the Hawk, I'm doing the matches on the main show and on Heat. I won't normally do this, but it would be a pretty short video without it, so shove it. Now a lot has been said about the Kerwin White gimmick. I've heard it be called horrible, cringy and racist, all that sort of stuff. But we've got to find out for ourselves today. Vince McMahon pitched this new character idea to Chavo Guerrero, and it was actually Chavo who wanted to take this idea further and come out under a white sheet to really get the heat. Yeah, he meant as a member of the clan. Glad that never went down. It all starts backstage. Maria is here to interview Chavo, but he walks up with a crazy outfit on and really short blonde hair. He says he's no longer Chavo because he didn't achieve anything as Chavo. He blames Hispanic people for this. He spits at the name Guerrero and says he's legally changed his name to Kerwin White. He says he's now a middle-class white American. If it's not white, it's not right. But despite this character's incredible build-up, he doesn't get a big in-ring debut on Raw. It's on Heat instead. Match 1, Heat, Kerwin White. He comes out on a golf cart. He looks like most people's dad, except less fat. He has this crazy jazz music and he's clicking his fingers to it with happiness. You can't say he isn't putting everything into this gimmick. They're making an effort to not call him Chavo. He takes on Super Rosey. White makes sure to hang up his sweater in the corner. White seems to be more interested in his clothes than his wrestling. Rosey hits him with his ass, which sends him out of the ring. Nothing happens and he tries to bring him back, but White cuts him off. He tries to dive out the ring, but Rosey catches him, but it's yet another reversal and White shoves him into the ring pole. He desperately tries to get the count win, but he can't do it. With the ref distracted, he chokes Rosey with his shirt, but he makes sure to fold it back up afterwards. K White finally gets caught now with a sidewalk slam. It's all rosy for a bit. He hits a back body drop and a big time front slam. Just a 2. The sunset flip is a bad decision for White and he gets the ass drop pin. How is that just a 2? Now Rosey misses his dive in the corner and straight away White rolls him up. He holds onto the ropes as he smiles for the camera. That pin was my favourite part of this match. There wasn't really a lot here. He didn't do any moves and it was just 95% character work. So far I'll say I'm entertained, so it's not a failure yet. It's a D from the Hawk. Match 2, Heat, Kerwin White versus Tajiri. White does a kung fu pose at Tajiri, so he smashes him with a kick. White dumps in his nappy of fear and runs away. K White is annoyed at Tajiri taking his glasses now and he rushes back to the ring. Big head scissors from Tajiri and a huge monkey flip quickly follows. White stops his run by sending him into the turnbuckle. Now it's a European uppercut from White for a 2. He wants to use a clothes hanger as a weapon, but the ref stops it. White uses the distraction to choke Tajiri with his polo shirt behind the ref's back. K White takes time to slowly boot Tajiri into the corner until he grabs his boot and throws him away. Loads of kicks from Tajiri now and the handspring back elbow. Then there's a spinning heel kick for a 2. It's a nice flurry of offense from Tajiri. The big super kick should end it, but it doesn't. White has his foot on the rope. Tajiri shoves him in the tarantula. Then he tries to come back to the ring with a sunset flip, but it's countered and White sits on him and holds the rope. That's the 3. It was good when Tajiri was doing stuff and pretty boring when White was. It's a D. Match 3, Heat, Kerwin White. You know what? I'm just glad Chavo looks so happy. It makes me want to smile too. Or just punch someone in the gut. He takes on the Japanese buzzsaw Tajiri again. But first, White will cut a promo. He says he doesn't know who Chavo is. He is the official spokesman for middle class America. Eventually, Tajiri gets tired of this promo and he kicks him in the face. He also sprays the mist all over the cardigan. K White is very protective of his cardigan and he tries to take Tajiri out. That doesn't work and White is shoved in the Tree of Woe and hit with a baseball slide. Outside the ring now, Tajiri misses a kick and hits the ring pole. Back in the ring and we get our first ever move from Kerwin White. It's a shin breaker. He tries the second one, which is almost reversed into a roll-up. White goes running for some reason now, which is a bad decision. He's hit with a total world backbreaker, quickly followed by a spinning heel kick. Tajiri tries some more kicks now, but he quickly gets shut down by White. Yet again, Tajiri reverses the shin breaker into a pin. It's not enough. The big kick to the head gets Tajiri a 2. Extremely back and forth matchup here. Tajiri's next kick is stopped and White puts on a half Boston, a move he calls the White Out. Tajiri taps out and it's a legitimate win for Kerwin White. Pretty enjoyable, it's a C from the Hawk. Kerwin White over on Raw randomly starts a feud, despite not having a match on Raw. The target of his promo is Shelton Benjamin, or should I say it as he does, Shelton Benjamin. He says something about Shelton and race. Middle class Americans shouldn't like Shelton Benjamin because of his colour, or something awkward like that. Seems a really random reason to start a feud. Anyway, isn't golf and country clubs associated with rich people, not the middle class? This is followed up with nothing for 3 weeks. Just a bit of wacky interference in Shelton's matches. Give Kerwin a damn match on Raw. I'm trying to see if he can do the JOB, damn it. Match 4, Raw. I finally get my wish. Kerwin White versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton's getting some crazy crowd reactions here. He's really popular. The match doesn't start straight away as White has to go and hang up his clothes. Shelton starts with a go behind takedown. Kerwin dumps in his nappy affair and clings to the ropes. It's a headlock takeover from Benjamin now. White makes it up, but he's immediately hit with a shoulder block. White responds with one of his own, but Shelton kicks up. Shelton slams him and hits a baseball slide clothesline. White starts filling his nappy again and tries to leave, but he's stopped. Back in the ring, White manages to hit a second rope dropkick, which is by far the nicest move we've seen so far in 4 matches. Unfortunately, he gets distracted by a coat hanger. This is of course a referee distraction so he can choke Shelton with his shirt. The ref is confused about this. Benjamin wakes up and hits a Samoan drop. You know, I hate it when some wrestlers use the Samoan drop. It should just be saved for Samoans and fat guys, and Benjamin is neither. Bunch of reversals now until Shelton hits a backbreaker for a 2. Really nice back body drop now, such great height on that one. White stops him again with a jawbreaker, but it doesn't help him and Benjamin hits the heel kick. White realises he's losing, so he smacks Benjamin with the golf club. That's a DQ if you hadn't guessed. Really fun 5-minute match, these two have great chemistry. It's a B from the Hawk, very entertaining. Match 5, Unforgiven 2005. Kerwin White. Still love how happy he looks on his way to the ring, but JR really hates him. He takes on Shelton Benjamin again. Benjamin immediately slides out the ring and drops Kerwin White on the ring apron. Shelton takes his t-shirt away, so there'll be no choking in this match. White tries to mount some offense, but he runs straight into a knee to the gut. Now he runs straight into a scoop slam. Benjamin's the one who goes running now and he hits the baseball clothesline. Shelton launches Kerwin into the sky now for a 2 count. The crowd sound really restless for this one, I'm not sure why, nothing's gone wrong. Benjamin misses his attack in the corner and White chop blocks him. White is working on the leg now and he does a shin breaker. He tries a second one which is almost turned into a roll up, you'd think he'd stop doing that by now. White turns that into a stretch muffler submission anyway now. Benjamin eventually kicks him off. Really nice head scissors from K White now, it certainly wasn't shite. This gets him a Chavo sucks chant. White tries a monkey flip but Benjamin lands on his feet and he hits a Samoan drop. Twice in one video, who would have thought it? His leg's too hurt to capitalise. Instead he hits White with an inverted backbreaker for a 2. White just can't get going, now he's hit with a back body drop and a back suplex. Shelton climbs to the top rope but White makes him fall on his nutsack. K White hits the superplex and he makes the cover but it's just a 2. Now White puts on his White Out submission. He actually has it on for a while before Shelton rolls through and catapults him into the corner. Again, Benjamin's too hurt to capitalise. K White has the golf club now and he swings, but no, he's thrown into the air and caught and T-bone suplexed, and there's the 3. Another enjoyable clash between these two. I thought they were missing an extra gear, but the gear they were stuck in wasn't exactly bad. It's another B. Match 6, Heat. Kerwin White, what the hell, that's Dolph Ziggler. Is he a stooge? I think he's a caddy. Versus Matt Striker. Striker takes him down by his arm straight away, and then he does it again. White can't believe that he's losing. And there's a third one. White can't get going. White flips and drop kicks Striker in the gut. White and Dolph are very happy about this. Imagine being a stooge for Kerwin White. What a career highlight that must have been for Dolph. Can you imagine going home to your wife at night and talking about your day? Yeah, I hung around all day with Chavo Guerrero, getting his water, holding his clubs, and handling his balls. How depressing. Matt Striker takes him down with some very basic offense now. He also hits a net breaker for a 2. He dodges a clothesline and puts on a pretty nice rolling armbar. White gets his foot on the rope. Seconds later, K White drop toe holds him into the whiteout, and that's the tap out win. The weakest match so far. I pretty much hated it. It's an S. There just wasn't much going on here. Match 7 Raw. For the third time, it's Shelton Benjamin taking on Kerwin White with Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler. You know that golf cart's got 2 seats. Why not let him sit down too? Benjamin makes fun of him and says he's only hired him to wash his balls. He says Chavo sucks, which gets a pretty loud chant started. The match begins and straight away Benjamin throws him into the air. We're not hanging around here. K White with a low dropkick. The caddy distracts the ref so White can do the shirt choke. Benjamin tries to combat a punches to the gut. It doesn't work. White snap mirrors him and puts him in a key lock. Benjamin fights out of that and it's all looking a bit clunky here. White gets back body dropped. He tries to stop Shelton by sending him out of the ring, but he skins the cat. Some nice athleticism from Shelton now as he springs to the top rope and hits a diving clothesline. White bails to the apron where he gets a knee lift. He tries to suplex White back into the ring and it's that same old tired finish we've seen 1,000 times. K White wins. Apparently, Dolph was holding Shelton's leg down, but the camera missed it. I sure didn't see it. The caddy snaps a golf club over Benjamin's back after the match. These must be the weakest golf clubs I've ever seen. A bad match, isn't it? Match 8, Heat. You've got to be kidding me. Kerwin White with Nick Nemeth versus Shelton Benjamin for the 4th time. I don't even understand why this feud is still happening. What's the end goal with this? The coach singing Kerwin White's musical commentary is pretty good though. Benjamin makes fun of Nemeth and White again. This time he says that K White has a little putter. Benjamin starts with a few quick arm drags. White stops him and starts ringing his arm. Shelton gets him off by springing off the ropes and arm dragging him again. Nice move. White tries a real barrow which is countered into a back suplex for a 2 count. K White drops Benjamin to the turnbuckle to stop him. Nemeth takes a cheap shot of his golf club from the outside. It's all Kerwin White now. He applies the submission hold. When that doesn't work, he does a head scissors with multiple spins. It might be a 3, but he takes too long smiling at the crowd. The match slows for a bit as they trade smacks. Benjamin springs to the top rope eventually and hits a diving smack. He also hits the release flapjack. Nemeth is on the apron causing a distraction and White almost gets the win off the sneaky roll-up. Then out of nowhere we get the T-bone suplex. Before Shelton can get the win, Nemeth rushes the ring and breaks up the pin. The match is thrown out for DQ. White's going to smack Shelton with the golf club, but for absolutely no reason, Matt Striker stops that from happening. Better than their last match, it's a C. Match 9, Raw Battle Royal. The winner gets a punch to the gut. Everyone is morons and they just stand around staring at Kane. Attack him together, you goons. White, of course, spends most of the match fighting his mortal enemy, Shelton Benjamin. Kerwin White survives in this match for a while, doing literally nothing but fighting Shelton. Eventually he tries a moonsault, which misses. Benjamin eliminates White off screen. The match is won by the Big Red Machine Kane.
Oh, hell no!
Match 10, Heat, Tag Match. Kerwin White and Nick Nemeth team up. This is actually Dolph Ziggler's first ever match in the WWE. Humble beginnings. They take on Matt Striker and Shelton Benjamin, the feud that never ends. Kerwin White keeps itching his ass on the apron. He's probably bored. Nemeth will start this matchup. Imagine wrestling in a bib. He's losing badly, so he tags White in. He's greeted with a Shelton Benjamin arm drag. Nemeth knees Benjamin in the back to slow him down. Shelton gets sent out the ring, but nothing happens. This crowd are all over K White with Chavo chants. Back in the ring now, Chavo drops him on his face and tags out. This is one of the most basic matches you could ever see. Finally, something happens. Nice head scissors from Chavo. White and Nemeth try a double suplex, which Shelton turns into a double net breaker. The hot tag is made to Matt Striker. No, it's not. Striker jumps off the apron and has turned heel. Chavo spikes Shelton with a DDT. It's not the 3 though. Benjamin is doing pretty well in this handicap situation. He throws Kerwin up into the clouds. It's a huge diving clothesline from Shelton now. He can't get the win though because Nemeth has got his club out and he's waving it around. White escapes from his next move and White and Nemeth do a double team electric chair drop. That's the 3. A fun match which started out a bit slow but got really good, and it's nice to see a new double team move. I'll shove this one a C. Match 11, Heat. Singles match, Kerwin White with caddy Nick Nemeth. It feels like the original Kerwin White gimmick has kind of stopped and it's just a golfing gimmick at this point. He takes on Val Venus. The crowd are all over White from the very first second. It's a very slow start this one as Venus keeps working on his arm. I've almost fallen asleep here. Another arm drag from Venus follows and he goes back to the arm bar. Eventually Kerwin lightly throws Venus into the corner, but he sells it like it was a hard throw. He follows that up with a back suplex. He also hits a back body drop. Unfortunately, he's getting way too distracted by the crowd. Straight up suplex from White now. This match hasn't left first gear. Now K White ducks too soon and Val almost kicks his face off. This is a double down. Val's back in this one now. He hits 10 clotheslines in the corner. Now it's time for the nicest move of the match. Val with the half Nelson slam. He wants to finish him off with the money shot, but Nick Nemeth causes a distraction. Kerwin rolls away and Venus smacks Nemeth off the ring apron. And just like that, Kerwin White wins with the roll-up pin. I hated this match. It was boring and predictable. It's an F. Match 12, Heat. Kerwin White with Nick Nemeth versus Mike Wellington. Who? Could this guy look like any more of a jobber if he tried? The bell rings, but nothing happens for the first minute. Eventually, White hits some kicks and uppercuts. He chokes Wellington across the ropes while screaming, "What's my name?" I'm starting to think this gimmick was the inspiration for Breaking Bad. White hits a back suplex for a 2 count. Short arm clothesline from K White now. He blows kisses to the crowd. This gimmick does actually get heat, I have to admit it. Wellington tries to roll him up, but he's pushed away. Now it's Wellington with a small package which gets him a 2 count. The Wellington boot keeps knocking him down with strikes. This jobber, how is he still hanging in there? Drop kick from K White now. Suddenly White does a suplex. A normal suplex, and it's the 3. That must be a first in my entire YouTube career. I think it was meant to be a brainbuster. Well, so was this match. It can shove it. How can you struggle to beat a guy who looks like that? It's an F. Match 13, Heat, tag match. Oh no, it's Shelton Benjamin and he's teaming up with Al Venus. This feud will never truly die. They take on Kerwin White and Matt Striker with Nick Nemeth. So now we have a golfing faction. K White doesn't start. Venus gets distracted and White boots him in the shin from the apron. White is tagged in now and he keeps smashing Val in the knee. It's quick regular tags here without much happening. White puts on a knee submission but Val kicks him in the head to get him off. Shelton smacks White with a cheap shot and White has to tag out. The Benjamin hot tag destroys the golf club. White gets a back body drop. Then the match breaks down and Benjamin launches White into the air and lets him fall. Suddenly Matt Striker rolls up Shelton using the ropes and the tights, and Matt Striker has beaten Shelton. Man, what had Shelton done wrong? It almost felt like he's being punished at this point. Imagine doing the JOB to the golf club. It's an S. Nothing happened. Match 14. Final match, Heat.
Oh no!
Oh, so I guess that last match was the end of the feud with Shelton Benjamin. It did end after all. It's a tag match. Kerwin White and Nick Nemeth, no Matt Striker here, versus Antonio and Romeo, the Heartthrobs. What a wacky entrance we've got here. The golf club jump the Heartthrobs during their entrance. There's clothes all over the ring, but Kerwin will only use his own shirt for choking uses. One of the Heartthrobs fights back with a couple of sit-out arm drags. I can't tell you which one, the quality's too bad. Smack me one. Double back elbow from the Heartthrobs. The golf club take time on the outside to calm the match down. Antonio Heartthrob scares Kerwin White, who almost falls out of his stupid shorts. The club are really struggling against these Heartthrobs. They double chop Kerwin White down. Something happens now in the corner. It looks like a botched collision. That allows the golf club to drop Romeo across the ropes. The club with some more double team work now as White hits a baseball slide dropkick. It's just a bunch of quick tags with Romeo isolated for several minutes, but nothing else to mention. Eventually, White runs into Antonio in the apron and turns into a back body drop. A second one from Antonio now with a rough landing. The Heartthrobs try some sort of wacky combination, but Nemeth breaks it up. K White hits a flapjack on Antonio, and there's a bit of a delay now before White hits what's supposed to be a brainbuster. It looks slightly better this time, and that is the 3. A really wacky match, but it's pretty entertaining. A few clunky spots though. It's a D from the Hawk for game over. So this gimmick never went any further because just 6 days later, Chavo's Uncle Eddie would pass away. The Kerwin White gimmick was rightfully dropped. You couldn't really have Chavo portraying an anti-Hispanic character on the show that's supposed to be mourning his Uncle Eddie. You can see how close this was in time because Chavo's still got his blonde hair here. He went back to wrestling under the Chavo Guerrero name and he became a face. So all that's left to do is shove Kerwin White a final grade to see if he could do the JOB to the HAWK. First of all, it wasn't as bad as I expected based on what I'd heard. Chavo put his all into this gimmick and he looked happy doing it. There was just something that made me smile seeing him coming down to the ring in his golf cart clicking his fingers to jazz music. I felt like singing along with the coach. As Kerwin White, his moveset was pretty limited. He didn't seem to do that much during his matches, but then he'd end up winning. In fact, Kerwin White was only pinned once in 14 matches. So I can't deny this gimmick was getting some good heat from the crowd. But it just didn't seem to be leading to anything. It seemed like it was going to be a racist gimmick at first, but then halfway through it was just a golfing gimmick. I mean, what can you even do with that? I honestly didn't hate this. I appreciate the character work. I just don't know where the hell they could have gone with it. Kerwin White gets a final grade for the Ring of the Hawk Season 3 of a high D for entertaining me. And if you don't agree, I'll introduce your head to my knee.